Hi, Pliskin 54 here, Warhawk Defense. Today we've got a very, I think, very interesting rifle. We picked this up, just a week or so ago. We got it in a pawn shop that we like to go check out. Went up there Saturday afternoon, and they told me they had some stuff coming in that had come from somebody's, probably an estate, clearing an estate or something. And anyway, they had this, they had several old rifles, and I found this one in the bunch. Paid $159 for it, and some of you might recognize this. This is a Mauser Model 1893, and I'll bring it up a little closer. This is an 1893 Mauser, model 1893. This particular one is dated. I don't know if the camera will focus on the date, but right there it's dated 1923, I believe. Yeah, 1923. And if you notice the crest and that, it was made in Spain, in the Spanish state arsenal. It is in fact a Spanish Mauser. The Spanish Mausers were made, they were made initially by Mauser. Mauser made them for the Spanish military, the first, a couple of 100,000. And then the Spanish military liked them well enough that they just took the tooling and the designs and started to make them in their own arsenal. And if I could speak Spanish, Oviedo was made in the Oviedo arsenal, and it's basically the made in the Spanish state arsenal. And now I can speak German, so I can pronounce when it's a German Mauser, I can actually pronounce those words, but or at least I used to be able to speak German, but Spanish I'm not fluent in. But anyway, it's a Spanish Mauser. It was made again for the Spanish military, and then they started making them in Spain. So this is actually made by the Spanish State Arsenal. Again, I said 1923. Now it's in pretty darn good shape. We'll give you some other close-ups of it when we get through shooting it, but it's pretty darn good shape, and it's certainly worth $159. Now this is the really long barrel. This is a 29-inch barrel, of course. This is, if there was such thing as a grandfather of the K98, this might be it. This gun actually is kind of a milestone in bolt-action military rifle history. The thing that's unique about this gun is that the Mauser brothers developed this gun in the 1890s. 1893 is the model year and the model number. They developed this gun so that it would take 5 rounds in the internal magazine. And if you notice, there is no box magazine hanging out the bottom of this gun. The prior model to this was the 1891, and you might know that as the 1891 Argentine, 7.65 by 55 maybe, or something like that. Anyway, that one had a box magazine because it was just a straight inline 5 rounds, and they didn't know what to do with it, so they put a little box on the bottom here. Well, the Mauser brothers figured out that if you load them staggered configuration, like modern semi-automatic pistols, you could get 5 and just load them right here. Now that was a pretty revolutionary design, and it made it very easy, nothing hanging out the bottom. It was stripper clip loaded, and I don't have a stripper clip for this one, so we're just going to hand load them in here. But stripper clip loaded, you put it right, open it up, put it right here, slide them down in, close up the bolt, You know, now there's no rounds in this one, so you'd put the stripper clip in, slide them in, close the bolt, and away you go. You've got one chambered, you're ready to shoot. Now this gun also cocks on closing of the bolt. Now they changed that in the Gewehr 88 or 98, sorry, in the Gewehr 98 that came about for World War I. And the Gewehr 98 was long like this, long barrel, but it had the internal magazine like this one. It cocked on opening. That one did. And also on that one, it had 3 lugs. This one only has 2 lugs on the bolt, and the others have a 3rd lug back here. The Gewehr 98 and the K98 that was used in World War II. That was the short version, the carbine. It had a 3rd lug in the back here, safety lug. But this is probably would be considered the grandfather of that K98 that was used in World War II. Okay. This is pretty historically significant gun, and for the Mausers, you know, it made them quite a bit of money. The Spanish bought it, and a bunch of other South American companies bought it, and so this rifle really kind of took off, and it got to be very popular. In fact, the Spanish arsenal was making this gun clear up to 1943, so they got it in 1893. And they started making their own in about 1896, and by 1943 they quit making it because they were probably making the other Mauser by then. But so it had a long run, long service history, and again, I don't have a cameraman, but it had a long service history in military use. The 1893, the 1891 version was in 7.65 Argentine caliber. This model, the 1893, the Spanish model, was chambered in 7mm Mauser, which is 7 by 57. Now, when they went to the Gewehr 98 for World War I and the K98 for World War II, they upped it to 8mm. 7.92, I think it is, by 57. This is a 7mm by 57, so this is just a little smaller round. But this is a round that people like for hunting. These guns have been converted for hunting. There's lots of 7mm rifles around today. 7mm is a pretty popular round, you know. But anyway, 7mm, that's where this came from in this rifle. So pretty cool rifle. You know, the sights go out to 2,000 meters. It's set, the sights on this one are set at about 300 meters or 400. I think it's actually set at the factory to shoot 300 meters, and then you can, you know, adjust from there out if you want to go out further. You can also pull it up and, you know, come out there and shoot at the moon if you want to, 2,000 meters. But it was really meant, it's a battle rifle, distance battle rifle, and it's sighted at 300 meters. So shooting it today here on our short range, we'll be shooting it from maybe 50 meters, so I'm going to have to definitely aim low, and we'll see where it goes. But I have not shot this rifle yet. Today's the first good day we've had. It's a little cloudy, humid, but it's not raining. So we're going to take advantage of that, and we're going to go back and shoot it. We're going to shoot over the hood of the van, and we're going to shoot at this target behind us, which we put a little pink dot on there so you can see where we're hitting, and I can tell what I'm aiming at. Now the sights on this are, you know, it's a V notch. I'm tripping on this grass. Guess I should mow the lawn once in a while, but the sights are just a V, a notch here, and up here on the front up here on the front, you can see right here, it's an inverted V. So, you know, it's a sight for 20-year-old eyes, not 60-plus-year-old eyes. But we're going to go down and shoot it right now. So we'll do that, and we'll leave this camera here to see how the hits are, and we'll go down and shoot right now. Okay, there's the rifle. I didn't bring my any of my shooting stand or bag or anything out here, so and I've got this on the tripod, so we're going to adjust this a little bit, but there's the rifle, and it's sitting on the shooting bag. I need to get in there and get my ear protection out, but that's it. That's the 91, or no, sorry, the 93. That's the 93, model 1893. If I say 91 in this video, just reach through your camera or reach through your, you know, your computer and slap me, because obviously I'm getting old. But that's it, and she's in pretty darn good shape for being 1923 when it was made. So we'll pull out a little here and load her up, do some shooting. Okay, got my ears out. Put my ears in here. I'm guessing this will probably make some noise. Although that long 29-inch barrel should be not too bad. And it's a 7mm round, so it's not that big. And what's 7mm in inches? 284 or something like that. I think, oh, 275 I think it is, something like that. I think this gun, I think the British call this a 285 or something, or 275 maybe it is. 275 Rigby, I think, if you're a Brit. They like to call things in inches, but 7mm, 7 by 57. And there is the round 7 by 57 round. It's not, this one is a soft point, so it's kind of a hunting type round, but you know, it's hard to find original Mauser ammo, so I got this at Cabela's, and I'm going to start reloading once I really get shooting this. I reload for the 8mm Mauser, so we'll start reloading for this one as well. So, alrighty. Here we go. Just had to check to see if we had. Sometimes I don't remember to hit record. So, here we go. Open her up. 5 rounds. Turtle magazine, there's 1, 2, 3, and you know, a lot of people take these kind of magazines for granted nowadays, but in 1893 the Mauser brothers came up with kind of a revolutionary concept. You know, this was kind of the military firearm invention of its day. So this was kind of the cool thing. You know, if there was a tactical magazine or you know, SWAT TV or all those kind of you know, Tommy Tactical kind of stuff, this would have been on the front cover. It would have probably been on the front cover of the NRA Rifleman magazine, I'm sure, if it had been around in 1893. And you know, it was around in 1893, so maybe it was. I don't know. I wasn't around then. I'm not quite that old. So this actually also was made before my dad was born, and he's already passed away. So anyway, here we go. We're going to shoot down there on that target, and I'm going to pause it here. Then I'm going to go down and turn the other camera on so we can catch the hits when they hit it, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Got her loaded up. I'm going to send one home. Remember, this one cocks on closing. It's kind of like an Enfield like that. Forward, hit the pressure, down. All right. And of course the safeties work like a Mauser, straight up. You can't pull the trigger. Trigger won't fire. All the way over, you can't open the bolt. If you come back up, you can't fire it, but you can still clear it by opening the bolt and pulling it back. The bolt will still work, but since we're ready to go, we'll put it all the way over to shoot, to fire. So here we go. This is the first time. We'll see how she works. Boy, that sight is hard for old eyes to see. Alrighty, here we go. I'm going to set at the bottom of the pink. Wow, pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. Ah, smell that powder too. The hole looks like it's way high. So I'm going to drop the next one down a little. We'll take that one out and save it. And when I got this, you know, the guys at the pawn shop said it was pretty dirty. It had been sitting in somebody's garage for 50 years, leaning up against the wall with 4 or 5 other old rifles. This was the best one of the lot. The other were different rifles. They were some beaters and that, but this one was pretty decent. And there wasn't a ton of rust on it, a lot of dirt. There was a little film, rusty film in the barrel, but the rifling was good. And so I cleaned it out as, you know, best I could, but shooting these rounds through it should have helped to clean it a little too. It'll blow some of that crap out. So I'm going to drop down below. Let's put this out a little bit. I'm going to drop down 4 or 5 inches below. Oh, this is a long rifle. 4 or 5 inches below where I was aiming before. Yeah, can't tell. Let's try another one. We'll go through these 5. Come on. We'll go through these 5 and then we'll go down and take a look. Drop down 3 or 4 inches. She does have some kick. I am shooting, like I said, this is more hunting round, but this is a 139 grain soft point. Actually 140 grain was the Spitzer. 140 grain Spitzer I think was the military load once they got away from the round tipped ammo and went to a Spitzer round. They brought the weight of the bullet down to 140 grains. So this baby's very cool. I like these old Mauser bolt guns. They are cool. All right, here we go again. Well, I don't think we've hit the other camera down there anyway. All right, last round. All right, bolt open. We're safe. Let's go down and see what we did. Boy, oh, bad assumption on my part. I shot the first one, it went right there. I thought I could see it clear up here. I thought it was clear up there. And because this thing's sighted for 300 yards usually, I figured it'd go way high. I was actually sitting right here. This is a very flat shooter, very flat shooter. Because if it's sighted for 300 yards and I had the front sight sitting right there and it ended up right there, wow, that's not much of a rise. This baby is a flat shooter. And so because I assumed thought I saw it up here, now that's old eyes for you, you know, I thought, well, I better come down here and aim down in here to compensate for it. And by doing that, look at this, I strung those bullets. Strung them clear down there. Now the interesting thing is though, they're all right in a line, and I was sitting, you know, I came down and set that right in here because I figured it'd rise like some other old rifles I've got and end up here, but boy, that baby must be a flat shooter. This time I'm going to go back and I'm going to put it right on the bottom of the ball, see if we can just put them right there in there. I think we could probably do that. It's pulling to the right just slightly, but that may just be me. But look at that. I assumed, made a bad assumption, and I strung them out like that because I didn't really have a point to aim at. I just kind of set it down here somewhere. Okay, bad assumption. Let's go back and try that again. Okay, I just learned something about this rifle. I learned, let's take this out a little. I learned something about this rifle. I just learned that it is a very flat shooter. I set at the bottom of the ball, and in fact I thought with my old eyes it was probably a fly down there sitting on the target, but it looked like it went way high, which I'd expected it to do because it's sighted for 300 yards. What really happened was it was about an inch high and to the right of where I was actually setting the front sight. So then when I dropped them down below, assuming that I was going to get a rise, I just strung all those shots out in a big long line down in the white on the target way down below the red dot. So I obviously didn't account for the fact that this is a very flat shooting gun, and they didn't get much rise. So we're going to shoot 5 more, and I'm going to set at bottom of the ball, and I'm going to leave all the shots at bottom of the ball and see if we can group them instead of stringing them out down below. So it looks to me like at this distance, at only about 60 yards, I guess we're 60, maybe 70 yards, we're shooting, we're kind of almost shooting point aim. So let's give it a try. We'll try this again. That's what I get for assuming. You know what assuming does. Not a good thing. Alright, let's pull 5 more. This good old, this is PPU. PPU, made in, where's this made? Serbia. Serbia, yeah, made in Serbia. So, alright, another try. And I noticed that as we shot, the gun got easier. It sounded different, sounded better every time I shot it. So, and you'll see, you know, how these drop in. They just, you know, if I had the stripper, I just put it right here and shove them in, but I don't. So I'm just going to load them, hand load them. Maybe I can find one of these days. I'd like to find a bayonet for it too. It'd be an amazing thing, a bayonet for this 29 29-inch gun with a bayonet on. That'd be kind of a cool thing, huh? Okay, here we go again. All right. Sit at bottom of the ball. Take out the slack. It doesn't exactly have a, you know, a great trigger. I mean, it's a standard military rifle kind of trigger. You know, it's got a lot of take up, and then it's just a hard pull, and then it breaks. Whoops, sent that one flying. It's so dang long, it's hard to get. One more. It's so long, it's hard to get it across here. I really need a better shooting spot. Getting some sweat in my eye. All right. Empty. Go down and check them out again. But if you are talking about a military rifle, those are definitely all man stoppers. And again, we're not talking about you know, a deer hunting type rifle or something that you're trying to take a trophy buck with. You could do it, but this does demonstrate that this old rifle is still adequate for you know, combat. Those are combat effective hits, except those two that I pulled to the right. But those are combat effective for sure. And it's a 7mm. So let's take a quick look at the rifle and talk about it a little more. Okay, here we are, front of the target. Here's the rifle. It's fun to shoot. I think I need to clean it, take it apart and clean it, shoot it some more and clean it. But I did just want to mention that this rifle, this 1893, was also the rifle that held up Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders as they were trying to charge up San Juan Hill and Kettle Hill during the Spanish-American War. And these were the guns that the Spanish military had in Cuba when they were charging up, and this is where the Americans were still shooting the Craig Jorgensen and the old you know, black powder single shot rifles, and you know, the trapdoor type rifles, single shot, and they took like 1,500 casualties to just a few on the Spanish side, but they overwhelmed the Spanish by sheer numbers. Because there just was so many Americans, they overwhelmed them by numbers. But the Spanish held them off very well with this rifle, because it had the 5-round internal magazine. It had a, you know, quick action you could cycle quickly, you could reload quickly, put the stripper clip on there and reload it. And after that, there was a congressional inquiry or something, and Teddy probably went and testified, and they decided, the Americans decided they needed a new rifle. So you know what, they ended up with the 03 Springfield. That's when the Springfield, 03 Springfield was developed, and guess what they did? They copied this Mauser, well, they copied the Mauser action. Whether it was this Mauser or not, they realized that the Mauser type action was the way to go, so they copied it basically. It came up with the 03 Springfield because this was the, at the time, this was the technology to beat. And so if in the arms race for good weapons, infantry weapons, this was the way to go, and so that's what they did. They developed the 03 Springfield. You know, this was developed in 1893, so by 1903 the U.S. was copying it and making the Springfield. So a kind of interesting bit of history, you know, but we will lay this gun down and give you a good showing of it. Do lay it here and you can get a close-up, and we'll call it. It's hotter than blazes out here. I'm sweating like crazy. I can feel the sweat trickling down inside my shirt, so time to call it. But cool gun. You know, the shooter probably isn't very good. I definitely need to shoot it. These are the first 10 shots I've shot with this gun since I brought it home and cleaned it up. And like I said, it's been sitting in a garage for 50 years. But anyway, here it is. You can take a look at it. As you can see, the wood is in really decent shape. The bolt as well, and there's the crest, the year, and you know, it cleaned up pretty good considering it was sitting in a garage for 50 years, and it was made in 1923. There's the sights, and you can see it goes out to 2,000 meters. The wood is real nice, and actually the metal is as well, and it had the cleaning rod with it too. And you know, there's the business end right there. So pretty sweet old gun. You know, you want to find guns like this, become friends with your local pawn shop or pawn shops. More the better. I found one of the best places to buy great guns are those pawn shops. If you get to know them, if they know you by first name. Now, interestingly, this one has the gas hole right here too. The first models of this gun didn't have a place for a ruptured cartridge to vent gas. This one does. So by 1923, that's one of the improvements that they had made, is they started putting this, and you'll notice the 03 Springfield has one on the side as well, and it kind of became a regular thing. So if there was an exploded case in there, the gas could vent rather than venting out through the bolt and blowing the bolt out in your face. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool piece of history. And the price was right. Oh, it's got a cartouche on there too. See that cartouche? Don't exactly know what that cartouche is. Probably Spanish armory of some kind. Or maybe it was a unit that it was assigned to. Anybody knows, let me know. Make a comment, let us know. But pretty cool. Anyway, that'd be it. We will see you later.